Hello Internet, I am Sorcerer Scott and we're here today to talk about Lordaeron. Now, you might be thinking this video is coming a tad late, but personally I think I have a good excuse, so maybe cut me some slack? But I could not let the Siege of Lordaeron go by without talking about it, cause it was awesome. So sit back, relax, and welcome to Sorcerer Scott Hospital Edition. Let's chat. Now, as I had expressed, I thought War of Thorns was fairly underwhelming and kind of a letdown. I personally cannot say that for Siege of Lordaeron. I thought it was so much fun. The questlines were great, the storyline was awesome, the cinematics were beautiful, and 4 syllables here, guys. Jaina Proudmoore. Jaina Proudmoore was by far the star of this entire event. She was just an A+ good girl. So let's dig right in and start talking about all of this. So on both Horde and Alliance side, you start off working your way over to the Battle of Lordaeron. As the Horde side, you fight the Alliance army, and as the Alliance, you fight the Horde, wearing down the enemy side. Once either side is worn down enough, that's when Sylvanas breaks out her Azeroth war machine. And as the Horde side, you try to defend it, Alliance, you try to destroy it. Pretty basic stuff. Once you get the health down enough, we show a clip of Anduin Wrynn using his beautiful sword Charlemagne to smash it to bits and ride off on his white horse. Now that's when Sylvanas decides to get controversial once again. I know, you're shocked. She orders her undead army to release the poisonous blight. And we're not going to talk about the fact as to why do the undead need to wear gas masks? They don't breathe. But anyway, she sends them out to release her poison, and this slowly starts to kill not only the Alliance soldiers, but the Horde soldiers as well. She kills her own soldiers to raise them as undead army. This probably isn't going to go over well with the rest of the Horde members, as we can see Sourfang instantly arguing with her. So I imagine this is going to bring quite a bit of flashback for her later on.
There must be another way, Chief.
This is no time for sentiment, High Overlord. War demands that we take a more direct approach.
It's killing her own troops.
Next part again is pretty basic what you would think. As the Horde, you're putting on gas masks, taking this blight and covering the battlefield in it. As the Alliance, you're trying to heal soldiers on your way to running away from it and trying not to die yourself. Once you get far enough away from the blight, and as Horde, once you cover up enough of the battlefield, it cuts to our next cinematic. The best cinematic, in my personal opinion. We see a giant ship floating in the sky, controlled by arcane magic, sailed by none other than Jaina Proudmoore. She then uses a giant bolt of frost to freeze over the blight and clear the battlefield, and uses arcane cannons on the ship to blast through the wall. Come on, can you get any more cooler than that? Answer, no. No, you cannot. Anduin and the rest of the Alliance then pushes forward. Anduin dismounts and pulls out his sword, saying, "Let's finish this." He means business this time, folks.
The Blight has broken our ranks! Our assault has been for nothing. What now? We end this now.
Once through the doors, the Alliance and Horde both work their way over to the courtyard. The Horde regrouping, reblighting, and becoming stronger, the Alliance having to get past a windy troll boy. Luckily not our zappy troll boy. We love our zappy troll boy. By the time the Alliance gets to the courtyard, the Horde have by far outnumbered them. But lucky for the Alliance, we have a second A+, good job, good girl, Illyria Windrunner. She pops up and summons an entire army of Void Elves ready to fight and take on the Horde.
Alliance, hold your ground!
Let us even the odds, King.
Illyria, thank the light you've made it.
I am known for my timings, Your Majesty. Mekatork, are you ready for battle?
Indubitably! I run some extra machines for backup! Feel free to give them a spin!
Jaina, Get, help me with Blightcaller and Lordaeron. Illyria, take the rest of our troops and focus on routing the enemy army.
As you wish. Champions, with me!
This part is another cut and dry Horde v Alliance battle scene. You're breaking down the other side's army as fast and as well as you can. This battle scene ends with Sylvanas and Bane Bloodhoof calling for a retreat, covering their retreat path in Blight as not to be followed by the Alliance. But luckily the Alliance came with gnomes and flying machines, so they can just fly right over the Blight and head towards your next sequence.
Bane! Pull them back!
Retreat!
No! They must not escape!
Now passing over this Blight takes you face to face with one of our new favorite boys, High Lord Sourfang. Anduin tells him that no part of this is honorable and he doesn't want to fight him. Sourfang then says he lives, breathes, and dies by the Horde. So this starts your little tiff with him, which ends in you pretty much subduing him and Anduin refusing to kill him, giving him his honorable soldier's death, instead taking him to the stockades. This should prove to be quite interesting later on.
Alliance, halt! No. I demand an honorable death. My father once said that Varrock Sourfang embodied the honor of the Horde. He admired you for that. And so do I. Listen to me. There is no honor in this. That is not for an Alliance king to decide. At this moment, it is. Take him to the stockades. When I return, we will speak of honor, and how it may yet be reclaimed. If you return. We've done it.
This brings us to the throne room, where we start to finally see maybe what Sylvanas' master plan is. Bane closing the door behind them, furious at Sylvanas, saying that she left Sourfang out there to die. Sylvanas responds by saying that is what he wanted, and if Bane wishes to join him, he can, or he can go tend to the living. Bane gives her a dirty look, says for the Horde, and storms off. Sylvanas then hands her bow off to her trusty Nathanos, telling him he knows what must be done, and he walks off. Sylvanas then sits in her throne and awaits the Alliance troops.
You abandoned Sourfang to die out there!
It is the death he wanted. If that troubles you, you're free to join him. Or you can tend to the living. The choice is yours.
For the Horde.
You know what must be done. Go, my champion.
Now that my IV has been replenished, let's continue. Next we see Anduin, Gin, Jaina, and Illyria busting through the doors into the throne room and storming in. Now many people have noticed this is quite similar to a Warcraft cinematic of Arthas busting into this throne room. Could this be foreshadowing of a maybe soon-to-be new Lich King? Or was it just so cool Blizzard decided to use it twice? You decide. Either way, it was a pretty sweet entrance. We then come to that Sylvanas teasing and banter that we all love so much. Her calling Anduin a boy playing soldier, telling Anduin to muzzle his dog and referring to Gin, pointing out that Anduin has his father's sword and, oh no, he's gotten it all bloody. We also see just how far gone Illyria is when it comes to her sister Sylvanas, saying that she should have killed her when last they met. Could Illyria be responsible for Sylvanas' death later on? Or could it be reversed? I, for one, am very curious to see how this particular rivalry will end.
The boy's playing soldier.
Our king just routed your army!
Muzzle your dog, your majesty.
Sylvanas Windrunner, you have led the Horde to a place without honor. Lordaeron is ours. It's over.
Your father would be so proud. Is that his? You've gotten it all bloody.
Only one of us wanted this war.
You call for peace when it suits you, little lion. But you're quick enough to kill.
I should have killed you when last we met.
How rude, sister. You're a guest in my home.
This brings us to our exciting end. After some more choice words between the King of Stormwind and the Warchief of the Horde, Sylvanas arises from her throne, walks to the center of the room to meet Anduin face to face, stare him dead in the eye, and say, "You've won nothing." She then goes full Banshee like in the Battle for Azeroth cinematic, releasing a blight to fill the room, seal off the heroes, and fly away. Our 4 heroes would have been in a lot of trouble if not for that A+ good girl, Jaina Proudmoore, who teleports them to her ship. As the ships fly away, Anduin looks down upon Lordaeron, see it covered in blight and uninhabitable. He looks furious and a little devastated. Sylvanas looks quite proud of herself.
You've won nothing.
So, even though I played it from a hospital room, I fully enjoyed the Siege of Lordaeron. It gives me great hope for this next expansion pack, so I hope you will join me next week as we talk about the full launch of Battle for Azeroth. Until then, I am Sorcerer Scott. See you next time.